Hello and welcome or welcome back. It has been a hot second. Life happened. Various things happened. I was running at capacity for a couple of weeks, so it's been a couple of weeks since I uploaded a video, but I am back with my April TBR. And before that, a quick little shout out to all of you because I reached 100 subscribers. Yay! Thank you so much. And I celebrated by getting myself a ring light. So hopefully you can actually see me now, which is always an improvement. But without any further ado, let's get to the books that I would like to read in April. It's a smaller list than last month, which is good. March has been a lot of reading. I think I'm going to manage my March TBR, but it's been a lot. So we're calming down a bit for April. First up, I'm going to go through my annual challenges. So each month I have a few prompts to read from. And the first one is Buzzword-a-thon. The buzzword for this month is big or small. And I'm going to be reading Betraying Big Brother by Lita Hong Fincher. I've been really interested in reading this for a while and I got given it for Christmas. I'm very excited to read it. It is about the feminist movement in modern China. And this really fascinates me. I think it's so interesting and important, but also valuable to learn about movements all around the world that sort of align with our own opinions, and those that don't, and kind of seeing that global perspective. Also, China obviously has such a different political landscape than in the UK or in other countries that I'm more familiar with. So I think it's going to be fascinating to read about the feminist movement there. So I'm really looking forward to this. I think it's going to be a bit different from the feminist books that I usually read, and I'm very much looking forward to learning a lot more about a country that I have visited but don't know a huge amount in terms of the reality of the political landscape there. Next up, my non-fiction challenge. So I have challenged myself to read a non-fiction book, at least one non-fiction book every month. And in case you're going, but Lizzie, Betraying Big Brother was non-fiction. Yes, it was, but I'm not allowed to double up on these prompts, on these challenges, because this is all about helping me get through the physical books on my TBR, so we're not allowed to double up. So I am reading A Brief History of Atlantis by Stephen P. Kershaw. This has been on my shelf for a long time. The reason I picked it for this month is because most of the other non-fiction books on my shelf are either feminism or history, which will be the next prompt that we're going to go through. And this one, although it is history, was a very different era of history and a completely different approach. I'm really excited to read this. The idea of Atlantis fascinates me. I love the Disney movie. It's a great Disney movie. And also the BBC TV show, which was bad, but I loved it. And I just really enjoy the idea of it. I love reading about Greek history and mythology, and I'm really, really excited to read this. So I'm finally getting to it. So I mentioned history, of course. The last of my 3 annual challenge prompts is my Tudor TBR, to read a book off my Tudor TBR each month. And I have gone for fiction for this one. Most of my Tudor books now are non-fiction, but because of the other 2 non-fictions, I've gone for a fiction. And that is Anne Boleyn, the Six Tudor... I was going to start that sentence again. 6 Tudor Queens, Anne Boleyn, A King's Obsession by Alison Weir. So a couple of months ago, I read the first book in the series, Catherine of Aragon. This is the second book in a 6-part series. You can just about see... behind Wonder Woman, you can just about see the rest of the series there. So yes, I'm very excited to read this. One of the things... I loved the first book. One of the things that struck me in the first book is that I was really excited to see if Alison Weir's characterisation, because these are fictionalised accounts of these women's lives, I was interested to see how her characterisation would change from one to the other, because obviously for Catherine of Aragon, then Anne Boleyn was very much a villain in her story, whereas the reverse is true here. Catherine of Aragon is a villain in Anne Boleyn's story. So I'm very intrigued to see the kind of opposite side of that. Also, I am brushing up on my Six Wives knowledge because in May I'm going to go see Six and I'm so excited. So I thought rather than, you know, read about a different monarch, a different era, I'd stick with Henry VIII's era for now, and continue with some of the Six Wives. So those are all of my annual challenges for April. So I thought to fill out the rest of the month, this month is the month I'm going to tackle my ARCs list. It is a bit out of control. So all the rest of the books in this video I was sent either by publishers or authors for review. I've not been paid to talk about any of these books. I've not even been asked to talk about them on my channel. They're just for review, but just FYI, in the interest of full disclosure, the rest of these books are review copies. First of all, I was sent by HarperCollins Teen, Milo and Marcus at the End of the World by Kevin Christopher Snipes. And this, I mean, first of all, this cover is amazing. And it sounds really, really cool. I'll read like the tagline because I don't have a full blurb on here, but the tagline is, if Milo Connolly can survive 3 years of high school without revealing his long buried feelings for a certain Marcus Price, then he can certainly survive the end of the world, right? So I think it's themes of, it's a coming of age story, it's queer romance. I think there's strong themes of religion and how that intersects with queerness, which is something I'm always interested in. So yes, I'm very excited to read this, and I'm also baffled and very excited that I have a copy. So thank you very much to Harper Teen YA. What's their full name? Harper Teen. Thank you, Harper Teen, for sending me this. Now, a couple of months ago, I was sent a whole load of ARCs by an author, Skye Killane. I'm so excited to be reading some more of her books because I've really wanted to read some more since I read one of hers back in January. And so this month I'm going to be reading Get It Right, which is an FF romance between a femme and butch lesbian, or I think one of them is pansexual. It's a sapphic romance between a femme and a butch. And one of them has just come out of prison and is looking to have a new start in life. So bit of second chances, bit of some other romance tropes that I can't think of right now. But I've been really enjoying reading a lot of romance recently. It's never been something that I read historically, but I've really enjoyed it in the last year or so. I feel like I've come around to romance. Partly more queer romance. That has definitely influenced my enjoyment of romance stories. So I'm looking forward to read this. I've got a few heavier books here, so it'd be nice to have something a bit more light-hearted to have a little break between the heavier books. And the last one on my TBR is another ARC from NetGalley, and that is Electra by Jennifer Saint. So Jennifer Saint wrote Ariadne, which I read last year, and I was indifferent. I enjoyed some things a lot. I did not enjoy other things in Ariadne. And I was on the fence about requesting this on NetGalley because I was, you know, kind of indifferent to Ariadne. But all the things I didn't like in the Ariadne book were specifically about the character of Ariadne. So I thought I'll give her a second shot. I'll give Jennifer Saint another go and read her new book. So I'm going to be reading Electra, which I think comes out at the end of April. So I'm going to try and read it before then. And just like Ariadne, it is a retelling of the Greek mythological figure of Electra. So I think it's going to be a good one. I have a feeling, did I write about Electra at university? It's bad that I can't remember. I definitely wrote about someone like that. I didn't study classics, in case anyone is going, how do you not know? I studied music, and it was an opera about a mythological character. But right now I can't remember who it was, so I will look that up and probably cut this waffle if I was wrong. So that's my TBR for April. If I do get through all of those books, I'm going to carry on powering through my NetGalley shelf. I'm going to try and clear that. So yeah, those are my April reading plans. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Let me know what you are planning on reading in April, and I will see you all next time. Ta-ra for now.